one thing we all have in common in the trades. We build the world around us.
And the real question is, what are you building on and off the job site? We want to know.
Because this life is more than just the work. It's your health, your family, and your mindset.
This isn't just about tools and job sites. It's about building better homes, better businesses, better lives.
From contractors and entrepreneurs to leaders shaping the future of the trades.
No fluff, no shortcuts, just real conversations.
This
is the trade life.
Should we do it at the same time?
This is the trade life.
One more time. This is the Trade Life Podcast. There it is. Now we got podcast time, baby. This is our theme song. This is the Trade Life Podcast. Today, we're talking about work-life balance. And I know we talked about this previously, but we didn't really dive into like truly work-life balance. We talked about a variety of different things, like working out, what we do for pleasure, but work-life balance, like it's truly like, okay, do we work a certain time, and then what do we do with our family time, and like really trying to find that balance. So we've been talking about this for a while, and I know when you were on a run the other day, you had thought about this. So do you want to kick this off?
Yeah, for sure. So one of our lovely producers, Lisa, had this specific question for us, and it was, I guess, what our mentalities were around work-life balance. What was our take on work-life balance? I think me and you, Mike, we're both we're go-getters, I guess, like to put it lightly. Yeah. Both aspirational people. So her question was specifically in our mindset, what's our view on that, right? Because a lot is talked about in pop culture and social media around the need for work-life balance, right? Mm-hmm. Being present, all that kind of stuff. And I think it'd be value to unpack that. It's funny, I was, like you mentioned, I was going for a run just actually yesterday. And I was thinking through this sort of topic. And when I got home, you had sent me a reel, as you so often do, on Instagram. And it was this particular one that I've actually seen before. And I don't know if it was just a coincidence or if it's sort of a common.
Sorry about that, guys. I should have thought of that prior to. I just would hate that to like someone on Spotify being like, "What the fuck is that noise?"
Yeah.
We're back. We just had the heater kick on, so we went and shut that off. Sorry for the interruption.
Sorry about that. You were on a run yesterday.
I was on a run yesterday, and you had sent me the reel. And it's this reel. It's this Mexican fisherman, right? So I'll do my best to sort of recap the reel. It's this American investment banker travels down to Mexico, right? And he's watching a Mexican fisherman get back from fishing, right? Interrupt me if I get this wrong. The investment banker starts talking to the Mexican fisherman and asks him, how much he sells, why is he fishing? The fisherman says, he's fishing to support his family, sells a little bit at market, all that kind of stuff. And the investment banker goes through a number of discussions with him, basically suggesting that he could scale this business, right? And he could find efficiencies, and he could build the business. And
he's like, you could move from Mexico to LA up the coast a bit, and you could run multiple businesses and scale it and make more money.
Exactly. And the Mexican fisherman is listening to him, and he's nodding along and saying, yep. And he goes, and what would I do next? And it's, well, you would grow and you'd make more money. And then it's, okay, what would you do next? And you get to a spot inevitably where it's, well, then you would retire. And it's like, and then what would you do next? And it's, well, I would spend my days fishing. Mm-hmm. And it's a bit hyperbolic, like the sort of example, but it illustrates this idea that for a lot of people, they spend their lives chasing money over lived experiences, right? And this has, I think, kind of fed into this idea, or I don't know if this has fed into this idea, but it sort of feeds into the idea that we should be seeking balance,
right,
between work and life, work-life balance, all this kind of stuff, right? Be present with your family, all these kinds of things. And I just think that we can really unpack this and talk about how we view that. Because I think there is a strong, there's like, you want to spend time with your family, but we're aspirational.
Yeah. So there's the one part of the story I want to fill in is the Mexican fisherman says to the investment banker, he says, well, if that's how you spend your time, he goes, well, how about I take that time and I spend it with my family. I spend it with my friends, and we play music together. And it's like, so the two different outlooks on like, okay, I work less and I spend more time with my family, or I work more and then spend more time with my family later on, or doing my passions. This is a tough one because, again, both of us being aspirational, I struggle with this. I often struggle with feeling guilt towards not spending enough time with my kids, my wife. And I find personally it's the extremes.
Yeah.
Like I'm like, okay, grind mode where I'm like head down. I know I'm like, I have to get these things done. And it's like, they just have to get done.
Yeah.
And sometimes I don't see my family as much. We go away, we block film or whatever it is. It's like, you're just trying to focus on work for that period because it's like we have a bigger dream here that will benefit our family, that will benefit the industry that we're doing. And that takes dedication. You can't make change with just being like, well, I need my work-life balance. I need a mental health day. I need me time. It's like, unfortunately, a lot of our me time is focused on work.
Yeah, totally. And I think, so I've lived both extremes of this sort of work-life balance thing. I'll kind of walk us through that to sort of gain insight into my perspective on this. I think to give away the sort of secret sauce is I believe that you need to chase the things that make you because it allows you to be more present with your family. And I'll explain my lived experience to this. So when we were starting Hummingbird, it actually wasn't when we were starting, it was when we were expanding and we were moving into panelization and doing a lot of those things. I was working nonstop. Like I was working all the time, and I missed the first couple years. I didn't fully miss, like I wasn't just not around, but there was large chunks of my daughter's first sort of 2 to 3 years that I wasn't really around a ton for. Like I didn't, like we weren't investment bankers. Like I wasn't working 80, 100-hour weeks, right? But I was busy. I always had work on my mind. I was working 60-hour weeks, right? I was often in the office. So on weekends, like I did my best to spend time with my wife and daughter, but the work was sort of ever present. We got into a spot, like we moved into a large facility, and we got into a spot where financially shit was just going south. We actually almost went bankrupt through this time. So there was a lot of pressures on me. I've never spoken about it publicly, but we actually had a loss, me and Leanne. She was 40 weeks pregnant and we lost our daughter. Scout was her name. And this coincided with the near bankruptcy scare. And that caused me to really retreat and examine my life, right? And look at the amount of time I was putting into work. And it was this sort of like knee-jerk reaction around, oh my God, like I'm wasting my life. I'm not experiencing and spending enough quality time with my family. Like I've lost this. And there was an aspect of that experience really showcased to me the need to be present with my family. So I kind of retreated, and I retreated from work. And even people like at Hummingbird will say that like I'm sure they noticed it, and I've talked to some of them about it, but like I really retreated for probably a year or two where I wasn't around as much. I'm not around as much anymore, but it's because I'm doing other stuff. But at that time I was like literally just kind of backed away. And I really dove into nature, and like I was always active, but when I really took up running, I really started doing a lot of those kinds of things. I was around all the time for my daughter and for Leanne, my wife. This was also during COVID, so it was just like a fucking messed up time in general. But I spent a lot of time with them, which was super valuable, and I cherish that time. I hit a spot probably a year and a half ago It's funny. Summer's my daughter. She's got this book where it talks about, it's like one of these educational books, like it's a Montessori book, right? Talk about sort of like emotions that kids kind of walk them through it at that age appropriate. And one of it is about, it's like this little girl and she's trying to do a puzzle and she gets all frustrated and gets angry, right? And throws a little temper tantrum. And then the mom sits her down and she's like, you know, when you're learning a new skill, like it makes your brain feel kind of fuzzy and sparkly, right? And that's what like you're feeling as frustration, but it's a good thing because it means you're learning a new skill. And it's funny, that book, thinking about it now, was sort of it's a really good descriptor of my sort of, what I've come to realize my mentality around work-life balance is that for me, starting new companies and growing new ventures is the thing that makes my brain sparkle, right? Like that is the thing that wakes me up and gets me going. And having that allows me to be more present with my family, right? Like I found that when I was there all the time, it's like I was there, but I wasn't enjoying it quite as much because it was like in abundance. I think anything in life, right? Like when you have something in abundance, you don't appreciate it quite as much. Or when you completely lack something, right? Like you want it, and it is finding this middle ground, is sort of like everything in moderation, even moderation. But yeah, I think that was sort of the breakthrough for me, was realizing that the thing that makes me me and the thing that energizes me, is the thing that makes my brain sparkle, is learning new things, creating new companies, building something from the ground up, right? Starting new ventures, right? Like it's doing these things makes me really excited. It makes me feel so accomplished and so excited to go home to my family, which allows me to be present with them.
Right.
So the time I spend with them is so much more valuable versus when I was there all the time, right?
So it's almost self-serving for you. It's like to do something you're passionate about allows you to come home and be more present with your family.
Yeah, I think it makes me a better person overall, right? Like it fulfills that sort of deep need, right? Like it's fulfilling the mental side of things, right? Like there's the health and wellness aspect, right? Got to make sure that we make time for that. But there's a mental component too, right?
For sure. I appreciate you sharing that, big guy.
Thanks, Doug.
That's a tough one to share.
Yeah, it's been some time. I've sort of made peace with it, you know, and we honor Scout all the time. But yeah, it's tough to talk about. But it taught a very, very valuable lesson to me, which I hope, you know, I'd rather not learn that lesson that way, but I did, you know, I grew from it, and let's continue with the
Well, so when I was a kid, I remember, because not a lot of people know this, but my parents divorced when I was 4, and I remember as a kid thinking, when I'm a father, I want to be there for my kids. Yeah. Like I never want to feel this way, because I always yearned for my dad. We saw him every second weekend, and it wasn't something that I didn't really know how to process it when I was younger. But as I got older, I was like, okay, well, when you're older, like make sure you're around for your kids. And I was always like, you know, my parents got divorced. I'm like, your marriage is important. Like those little those things as a kid that you probably shouldn't be exposed to. It's like makes you who you are as a man. Yeah. And then, you know, as we got older, my marriage was my priority, and my relationship was my priority. And then we got to a point where, you know, where we eventually had kids. And it's funny you say, because to this day, like my wife will say to me, when I'm working on something I'm passionate about, I'm more present at home. Yeah. And I think about that now. Like she said that to me recently. She's like, you're so much happier. You're so much you're a better version of you. And even my daughter said, she goes, why is Papa being silly? And she goes, because he's happy. And it's like I had my head down and I was grinding, and I'm thinking it's this ebb and flow of, okay, grind, be there for the family. And this last like couple of years have been crazy for us because, you know, losing the house, tearing down the house, rebuilding, all while having a newborn, and then getting pregnant with a second kid has been like,
Yeah.
really chaotic. But in the chaos, there was so much like beauty of like the kids. But then there's like big chunks of that time where I just wasn't around and was like, I thought to myself, I'm like, well, you just need to work. Like, you just need to get through it. And it was like, those were my most miserable times where I was like, oh, I'm just doing this to get through. And then honestly, one of the things like when you and I started working together, it was like, I was excited.
Yeah.
I was like, this is like reigniting that like passion. And then it's, maybe I've derailed or I've gone off a little bit, but like, I feel, within that work-life balance, like whatever it is you do, I don't think there's a secret sauce. I don't think there's a recipe.
Yeah.
And maybe you disagree, but I think it's like, if you're passionate, if you find passion in what you're doing, then you can be there for your family. Because when I was just working to like build a house over our head or just grind through a tough time, it's like, I might have had more time, like actual minutes in the day to spend with them, but like, it wasn't my best version.
Work-life balance, I think it's a big topic, and it's not like that there's any one right way of doing it.
Yeah.
I think I like how you sort of brought up your childhood, and social media is sort of ever present with. I don't know, maybe it's just me. I don't know if you get these reels and memes as well, but it's sort of this like challenge of being a millennial dad, right?
Yeah.
And it's this thing that like we're trying to be better than our fathers, and it's this whole like we got to be present while also providing for the family and like not feel stressed and like make a happy home for your kids, but like you're still learning how to be happy and like all these kinds of things. And it's like it becomes this big like overbearing thing, and it's
daunting.
like be the best version of you,
Yeah.
right? And I think it's sort of like, I think making peace and coming terms with who you are and what you need, right? And I think that's different for every person, right? Like we talk about like, you know, okay, the thing that makes our brain sparkle is starting new companies, new ventures, all that kind of stuff. That's not for everybody. Like there's a lot of people where that might be fucking terrifying as all hell.
Yeah.
Right. And
well,
like,
there's certain people that are like, I want to work my 9 to 5 and then I want to come home. I want to be the fisherman who goes out, I catch as many fish as I need, and then I stop fishing. And I enjoy the rest of my day. And that's okay. Yeah. I think that's like, I sometimes look at people like that and I think, I'm like, man, am I doing it wrong?
Yeah.
I'm like, because to your point, like, oh yeah, my feed's flooded with that. I all the time, I'm like, I'm not a good enough dad. I'm not around enough, or I'm not like, and I know, to your point, it's like us millennial dads, I'm changing more diapers than my dad's ever thought about changing.
Yeah.
I changed more diapers in probably my daughter's first week of life than my dad's ever thought about changing. And it's like, I'm working so hard to be present in my kid's life, but then I'm also thinking, how can I benefit their life? Because I know we had maybe different upbringings, but like, for me, a lot of people see the show and assume that I was raised with a silver spoon. Like, my parents went bankrupt when I was 4.
Yeah.
So it was not.
You were 4.
I was 4. Yes, they divorced, bankrupt, things were tough. Yeah. But my point, and not to bring this up and say like, woe was me, but I had a tough childhood. That's not, it made me who I am today, and I'm grateful for that experience. But it's that I don't ever want to experience that again, and I don't want my kids to ever experience that. So that's a constant driver for me to be motivated. And I don't want my kids to have to worry about like hearing discussions of financing, hearing discussions of we can't afford new clothes, a winter jacket. That is always on my mind of they deserve a better life. Yeah. And seeing them at the end of the day, like when they come home today and as lit up as they're gonna be, it's like that's what matters, and whatever can make us the best versions of ourselves for that.
Yeah, exactly. And I think that's where it's like, it's such a nuanced topic because like you can't, I wanted the goal of this, us sitting here to be just to kind of talk about it and get across the idea that there isn't one way to do it, right? And I think if you stick and you take the garbage off social media, it's like, this is how you do it. This is how you should lead your life. This is how you achieve work-life balance. And it's like, there's no right way to do it. It's understand who you are as a person. Because to your point, like I look at it a lot and I go, there's like this inherent happiness I look at in people that are happy with 9 to 5 or 7 to 4 or whatever. It would be more like 7 to 4 in the trades than 9 to 5. But that like they work and then they can completely disconnect, put their phones away, and they go home, right? But I don't operate that way. Like my mind just doesn't. I don't get enough sense of accomplishment out of that.
And then,
for better or worse, right? Like whatever.
Because of that, you don't feel as, you're not as happy. You're not as fulfilled.
Exactly.
So then all of a sudden, you're not the dad that your kids need. You're not the husband that your wife needs because, okay, you're present on paper. Yeah. You're there, but then you're thinking about, I should be doing more.
Yeah. I see a lot of these things on, and like, you do you, pointing at the camera for those that are listening.
Yeah, there's no judgment. To each their own, truly. And like you said, the secret sauce is what works for you and what works for your family. And truly what makes you happy. And I know that probably sounds so cliche, but if you're not happy, it doesn't, like my wife knows. I can try and fake it like the best of them, and she's, what's going on? Yeah,
and that's, so again, something I see a lot of on social media is these sort of like coaching things that like, be the contractor that can like, you know, be at home all the time or like work out in the middle of the day and all that kind of stuff. I was that contractor. Like we had built Hummingbird to a spot where we had tremendous freedoms in our time. Still lots of work, still lots of things to do, but I could pick up my kids from school, I could drop them off. And I love that. They got to a spot where Summer was seeing me a lot. And she actually got to a spot where she didn't understand having a full-time job. Like she didn't recognize that between me and Leanne, because of what we've been able to build with the company, like neither one of us is out at work until 5 o'clock, right? And especially we've set the whole company, the whole office side of the company is set up in a way where there's a lot of basically everybody remote works, right? Like we've got the office, but we don't mandate. There's one day a week where everybody's got to be in for production meetings, but the rest of the time it's sort of up to the individual employee, more or less. And so I was working at home a lot. So I might have been working, but I was like around. So Summer, I was just like kind of always available to Summer and Silas, our son. I should probably add that after our loss with Scout, we did end up having another son. Silas is his name, so he's a little over 2 now, 2.5. So she didn't understand that a lot of people and a lot of kids don't have that with their parents, right? Like they're maybe at the babysitters from 7 or 8 until 4 or 5, depending on pickup schedules, right? Yeah. And like maybe one parent is working late and like they don't see one parent a lot, or there's sort of a lot of different sort of combinations that can happen there. But it was, I started feeling a little bit guilty that like I didn't want Summer to grow up thinking that was sort of the norm in life, and I wanted to show her that no, Daddy can work hard, right? Like, I don't want to say I didn't like step out to start some new company so that I could prove something to my daughter, but a little bit I did. I wanted to prove to my daughter that like I wanted her to see. It's a byproduct of it, but I wanted her to see hard work, right? Daddy's building something. I'm out here. I don't like the term like grinding, right? I'm not like working 16-hour day. But to your point, like I feel accomplished. I feel happy. It allows me to go home and be with my family and be more present and more accomplished and feel really good about what I'm doing. And that can be different for everybody. Yeah. Right? And I think the key is like, no matter what, don't feel shame, right? I think if you're never around and your kids don't know you,
probably not good.
You might want to work on that a little bit, but like, it's like with anything, it's the extremes, right? Yeah, exactly. With everything, the extremes are not good. But yeah, I can see, you're saying
part of it. You want to show your kids, you want to lead by example. I'm a firm believer that they are going to mimic what you do more than what you say.
Yeah.
So you showing Summer and Silas that you're a hard worker, and they don't see you building up Hummingbird to a point where you've managed the processes so well that you can step back. They don't see that.
Well, I did all that before Silas was born and when Summer was super young.
Exactly. So to them, they're like, he's just hanging.
Daddy doesn't work that much. Yeah. So Summer, we've designed it so we've got tons of flexibility. Summer has said sometimes, "Mommy doesn't work." Or like,
Leanne's like, what?
She's like, "Excuse me?" Like, no, Mommy works.
Yeah.
She works. She's like crushing herself right now trying to sort out some new AI thing that we've implemented. I fucking love AI, but like,
it's also complicated.
It's complicated. Yeah. But she's working all the time. But same thing, like it's at home, right? And then there's the like, Mommy also has probably one of the most important jobs, which is being a mom.
Yeah.
Right. I do want to shine a light on that.
I feel like that even we keep talking about doing an episode like on parenting, which we need to. Even that, a separate thing, but we're like, that's such a large one that maybe we're dipping our toes in that a little bit. But yeah, moms versus. But
we're not worthy.
We're not worthy. No. I think. Yeah. I don't think there's a work-life balance. I think that's like a myth.
Yeah.
There's no work-life balance. I growing up, again, just going back to wanting to be in my kids' lives and knowing how important that was, and to being an adult, and trying to have kids and then having kids, that's a whole other story I'll talk about another time. But to then having kids and knowing like the times that Dad can't be here right now. Yeah. Dad's got to work.
Yeah.
And knowing that I have to sacrifice, and it's something you said to me a while back, is prioritize.
Yeah.
I have so many things that can take my attention during the week. I have to prioritize what's most important. My kids are number one. But if my kids don't have a roof over them, if my kids don't have a roof over their head, then my kids now all of a sudden suffer. So I have to put my head down. And like this house, man, like they went away for a month where I didn't see my kids, I didn't see my wife, so I could work 7 days a week, basically 7 a.m. to 11 at night.
Yeah.
And it's like, that's what it took.
Yeah.
There's no, again, that is not a sustainable extreme.
Yeah.
That led me to burnout. I was miserable, and, I don't want to say like depressed, but it was not good.
Yeah.
But it had to happen. So what I'm getting at is that like there are times where I think you can step back, spend a bit more time with your family. There are times when you might have to put your head down and grind a little bit.
Yeah.
If you have the ability to do that thing that, to your point, makes your brain sparkle. Yeah. I think, I'm contradicting myself. I think that's the secret sauce.
Yeah.
Like I think
that's the secret sauce.
Because to you, like I'm. There's certain things that light you up in life, and I'm a very passionate person. And if I don't feel lit up, I am a shell of myself. If I'm not working out, if I'm not doing the things that I know make me feel good, I'm not showing up as a husband or a dad. Yeah. And for me, it's like we're taking on this new venture. We're doing podcasts. We're doing a media company. We're going to be building homes together. I'm like, I'm lit up. Yeah. I'm excited. And because of that, and you could look at that and think, oh, that adds a lot more work to your plate. Yeah. That's stressful. But that's a good stress. Yeah. Now that stress provides me more happiness. And then when my kids do show up, when my wife's here, they feel that. Yeah, totally. I mean, it's like working out. Yeah. Right? That it is a positive stress. Day like today, like I don't know, I woke up at 5, left my house at 5:30 to be here. I think it's almost 5 now, if not 5. I think it's probably past 5. Yeah. And then I got a 2.5-hour drive home, and it's like, I'm tired at this point. We're drinking a wonderful beer. This is a delightful beer. Right? Isn't it? Really good. Yeah. Shout out to Innocent Gun. We might not use that on the podcast, but... Yeah, we're keeping it. We don't edit these. Yeah, okay. We're still working on it. We haven't come to an agreement yet on that, but but
And like, I'm going to be tired today. When I get home, I'm going to be tired.
Yeah.
I'm going to be exhausted. I'm going to get home in time to read a book to my kids before bed, give them huge hugs. They're going to be really excited to see me because I didn't see them this morning. So I gave them a big hug last night, right? Tomorrow and the rest of the week, I'm going to feel super accomplished.
Yeah.
Right? And there's tons of shit to do the rest of the week. But I'm not doing this every day.
Yeah.
Right?
It gets to a point where managing your time is so important.
Yeah.
And knowing the value of your time.
Yes.
Because otherwise, if you can't manage your time, and I've been I don't want to say a victim because I did it to myself. I wasn't managing my time properly. And it just, everything else falls apart. But you're saying, this morning, it's been 12 hours already that you've been out of your house and you're working. You're going to get home and you're going to be exhausted. But that was broken down to today. Tomorrow, you still have to work, but it looks different.
Yeah, and it I'll get a run in at some point tomorrow. That, a typical day, like when I wake up, my typical day is I wake up at 6 and I'll try to get a run in by 6:30. Going to be honest, that hasn't happened a ton this winter because this winter has been fucked, man. This has been a rough winter, roughest in probably 5 years at least, if not more. But my typical sort of plan of attack for the day is to get an early run in, and man, I feel so accomplished. I get that run done, and I see these memes online, and they're like, the best thing about running in the morning is that your day can't get any worse.
See that?
I'm like, man, fuck off. It starts my day off right.
Yeah.
Right? I wake up, I have my cup of coffee, go for my run.
That's the thing.
It feels so good.
You gotta, this is again, cliche, but like choose your hard. Yeah. And running might be hard. Yeah. It might not be the easiest choice, but it makes you feel good.
Yeah, and like I'm not going out and doing frickin' sprints or something, but there's little
zone two
cardio, and it's on the trails. Like sometimes, man, there's a specific hill that I crest as I'm coming down. The sunrise, varying time depending on the year, but like varying levels of sunrise or dawn. Twilight, whatever
you call it.
Yeah, the thing.
When the sun comes up.
Yeah, but it's just like beautiful and so peaceful. You get the birds chirping. It's so nice, and it's just like
it's your time.
It's my time, and it's my time for myself, and it starts the day off right. And then I get home, and the kids are awake. Leanne she'll wake them up, and I get home maybe 10 minutes after they wake up, and then I help them with their breakfast and send them off to school. Half the time I'll drop them off, half the time Leanne drops them off, and then we get to work. Yeah. Right? And it's beautiful.
It is. I've said this before, and maybe I've said it on the podcast. I'll probably end up repeating it 100 more times, but Lisa will always say to me, you need to work out. If I haven't worked out in a while, she sees a noticeable difference.
You're getting skinny and weak.
Well, there's that. It's like, you need to work out because
your biceps are getting smaller.
Yeah. But mentally, it's that one thing that if I can accomplish it in the morning, my day, I always feel so much better. Whatever stressor happens, especially if there's days where I know it's going to be a higher stress day, I'll tell Lisa, I'll say, I need to fit a workout in this morning. Yeah. Can you deal with the kids this morning? I need to start my day this way. Because that's going to set me up for success.
Oh my God, totally. So the morning workout, I am an absolute convert. When I was in my 20s, so me and Leanne.
Workouts, right?
Yeah, after work, we both used to be competitive powerlifters. And we would meet at the gym. I remember because I was a carpenter, so I'd get off at 4:30, and I'd go and I'd sit at a Starbucks until she got there around 5:30. I'd have my coffee. Right? Yeah. I do like coffee. Yeah. I can't do this anymore. It impacts my sleep too much. And then we'd go work out, and we'd be working out by 6, finish by 7:30 or 8, get dinner on the way home, maybe watch a show, go to bed. And that was every night of the week, right? And my God, if I don't work out at 6 a.m., it's just hard.
Yeah, it's probably not happening. The responsibilities are different. The days look different now. I mean, you got kids, you got you got multiple companies you're working on, so it's different. But yeah, I agree. I'm like, if it's 2 p.m., still realistic. But anytime in late afternoon,
if I can squeeze it in into the morning, 2 p.m. is kind of the latest. And again, this goes with the idea that we've got flexible enough schedules with being our own bosses and entrepreneurs. This is going to change. Like as Project Network is starting to take off, I'm seeing that change. I think I'm going to be like a 6 a.m. workout or nothing.
Yeah.
In the months coming up, but
I was going to say, you and I this year, I feel like we've gone a little off course, but we, as we do, this is, if you're familiar with this podcast.
We're still talking about work-life balance.
Yeah. If you're familiar with this podcast, if you're one of the 4 listeners.
We're up to 6.
We're up to 6. Okay. If you're one of the 6 listeners, then you'll know that happens. But this year, it's funny because you and I feel like you were saying, I got to this point where I'm running Project Network. I can step back from Hummingbird a bit. Now, what we're taking on, it has continued to grow since we initially talked about an idea. And these days it's like they're getting busier and busier.
Got 2 startups.
And they're not going to be less busy moving forward, that's for sure.
No.
But again, these are things that I know I can speak confidently and say they excite both of us.
Oh yeah, I'm having fun.
And that, I think, going back to the work-life balance, find something that excites you and you'll be a better version of yourself for your family.
Yeah, totally. And
that could be different for everyone, but maybe what excites you is that 8 hours a day working for someone else you don't have responsibility.
No, totally. And I think that's probably a really good way to kind of close it out. Sorry, I got some beer burps here.
Yeah.
That's okay. It happens, right?
That's part of beer.
But I think it's don't be ashamed of being aspirational.
Yeah.
Right? And then at the same time, if you are a contractor and maybe you're just starting out, look, there's going to be some grind years, man. And your number one goal should be getting yourself to a spot where you have a level of freedom.
Yeah.
Right? And that's where there's tons of tools out there that can help you out with that, but make sure you get a team, get systems in place so that you can go on vacation, right?
Yeah.
It doesn't mean stop working hard. If working 60-hour weeks is the thing that you need to do, great. You just make sure that you're a good husband, make sure that you're a good father. If you're a woman and doing this, make sure you're a good mother, make sure you're a good wife.
It's also set expectations.
Set expectations.
Communicate.
Make sure your partner understands who you are, what you're doing, but be able to take vacation. Be able to take time off. If you're one of these, you haven't taken vacation in 5 years, that's the kind of shit that's going to impact your kids. Right? That's where we start getting into your kids will remember those things growing up. It's not that you not being around day in and day out. That's probably something that they won't even remember, right? To an extent. I think there's a lot of, when we talk about the work-life balance, it falls onto the personal front in terms of we put guilt on ourselves.
Yeah.
The stuff that the kids will remember is family vacations, right?
Yeah.
I've seen so many things about studies time and time again have shown that the best childhood memories and the most prevalent childhood memories are family vacations.
Yeah.
Right? It's holidays, it's going away. That's the shit that they remember. So make sure that you make time for that kind of stuff.
And it recharges you too.
Exactly.
And it's this is what helps charge your battery so you can come back and keep going. Yeah. So if we haven't touched on it enough, it's that there's no one size fits all solution for this. That's at least our belief. It's going to ebb and flow. It might not look the same every day, but you have to do what feels right. And don't listen to social media. Don't listen to people who are like, this is the way to do it. If you're doing it this way, you're wrong. It's whatever suits your needs best.
Yeah.
And most importantly, you have to know who you are as a person and what gets you going.
Yeah.
What fires you up. And if you don't know that, desperately look for that.
Find the thing that makes your brain sparkle. Closing remark. That's just for you, baby.
Yeah, I know. You can't see that. We're going to cut that out because that is just for me.
Mike, thanks as always.
Yeah, thank you.
Are we rounding it out here?
I think so.
Yeah, okay.
I'm going to finish this.
Right on. Cut.